The Apocalypse players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 9. The Shambles. And, so you drift off together in one berth, somehow piled on top of each other like a tray of finger sandwiches. Could you all give me a luck roll, please?
Don't be absurd. Of course, we're in our own carriages, in our own berths.
Cabbages.
And cabbages. It's hard to do.
Cabbages.
Spot hidden. Was that no what?
No, luck roll.
Luck. Oh, Christ alive.
Oh, fuck off. Oh. See who gets the owl man in the cabin with them. Well, I think it's going to be me.
You're not going to believe this.
Oh, actually, might be actually a pass. Can you
I know,
believe that?
it's unbelievable.
It's a hard success. 10 on a 24.
I've got a 15 on a 28.
Well, I've got a 96 on a 41.
We had the best luck of all of us.
Fuck, mate. Holy shit. Yeah, that is a fumble.
Yes.
You're a lot worse than a fumble on a sleeper train in the night. Let me tell you.
I did get this. Get the spray.
No splash, no gash, they say.
Okay, great. Not great at all.
I was going to ask, and this is genuine.
Yeah.
I might want to stay up for a few hours, and I don't just mean Joseph.
Okay. Well, I mean, since you passed your luck roll, I'll say that maybe you have the you don't drift. If you'd like to keep yourself awake, it's not like there's anything putting you to sleep.
Well, I did just take some opium, and although I am inured, it doesn't. So I'll leave it with you. But in terms of constitution checks and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, you're an experienced opium head. If you want to stay awake, I mean, maybe if you push it past an hour or two, it might warrant a constitution check. But if you think you'd be able to, what, do you want to just read, or do you want to just be on watch, or?
I think I wanted to be on watch for a bit and maybe a bit of reading. But anyway, I'll leave us, bear that in mind. I'm in your hands, but.
Yeah, excellent. Would you be staying in the sort of the berth with the others, or having a wander down the train, or?
I'd probably have to get up and walk about a bit, so I'd do that basically like a wee sentry,
not to keep them up
for a few hours.
Yeah. I think realistically, I think we do have our own berths, don't we?
Yeah, I would have thought.
Probably.
So.
Unluckily for me,
you and I might be sharing. Because we don't. My credit rating 33, so I've not got a lot.
Okay, yeah, maybe you and I are sharing, and Lady Marjorie has her own.
So I'm in and out of ours, but I'm going quietly, so I don't want to disturb him, and I'll go and check on Lady Marjorie, and I just listen outside the door for her. I don't want to disturb.
Well, yeah, you leave. Perregrine seems to be sleeping soundly enough, and Lady Marjorie too. And so you make your way down the train, and you just want to stay awake for a little bit, just to take the air. There is a little smoking deck at the back of the train. You can make your way down there, and
I'd say it was focused on this, but I don't want to leave them. So
okay, so you're focusing on.
I might make some notes in my pocketbook about what we're doing, that journal will be available on Patreon as a private recording,
of course. Yes,
for those who can be bothered to pay the money for it. And essentially, I'll just move between the two of them for a couple of hours, and then once I've satisfied my paranoia, I'll go to bed.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Cliffhanger for you, Dan. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No.
Yeah, it is a cliffhanger for you, Dan.
No problem.
But, that's good. I didn't expect a fumble, but believe me, there's something I can do.
No one expects.
It's the story of this whole session, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite extraordinary. The roles in this
It's
session
been
have
remarkable, let's be
I don't know
honest.
how many fumbles we've had.
It should have been an easy job.
That's why I like to work alone.
Yeah.
We just had to go to the library and check out some books that we knew weren't there.
I know, it's true. It cross-referenced the fact
were
that the
asking
two
for
people
it.
had taken them out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we got... we confirmed a whole load of information we already had.
He made us do it. What does it go? Like, we began this session, we were like, yeah, we're in Whitby now. We're in Whitby. He was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Straight to Whitby. That was what you said.
I forced it. I did force your hand, yeah.
I'm glad of an investigative phase. An investigation phase.
Right, so yeah, let's just get to York and see what happens. So, Dan, Perregrine, rather,
Yes.
you wake up feeling fine.
Oh.
And the rest of you do as well. I think Carraig-Muire, you did come to bed after a couple of hours, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hear, well, I say you feel fine. You wake up with a sharp shock because the blow of the train whistle sounds remarkably like an owl's hoot, a loud sort of call. And so for a moment you're shaken from some quite sort of, when you've had troubling dreams all night and they've seemed very vivid and then you instantly can't remember them. Is that no, I've never experienced that. Never will. Good for you.
Shan't.
But you all wake up to this whistle and you realise it's sort of the early hours. Not the early hours. It's maybe like 7 a.m, and you're pulling into
A lion.
York. Yeah, quite nice. You pull up the blinds maybe, and you see that. It's overcast. It's clearly been raining. There's sort of rain streaking the windows, and the fields look wet. But you can see the first of York coming into sight, and you realise you'll probably be in the station within 5 minutes. So I assume you get your things together and you get ready to depart. And you do so, and you find yourself at York Minster Station. What would you call it? Well, I should look up what it was called, and I'll just insert that there as if I did the research on York Station before.
It's just York Station.
York Station, I think.
It's just York. Yeah.
Just fucking York, innit? That's what the
York.
the guy says as he sort of lets you off. Just says, just York, innit?
How thick is the fog?
No, there's no fog. In fact, it's been raining, so
Well, it's kept it down.
yeah, exactly. It's all embedded in the marshes, waiting to rise again.
Lovely.
And those cholera pits they have by the station.
But as
The north.
the north, isn't it beautiful? But as you sort of leave, you see the old wall and everything, the sort of the old walls of the city, and the first of those sort of lovely cobbly streets going up into the city proper. And
There's this wall's right there. If the station's in the same place it is now, you get up.
exactly, yeah, it's right in front of you, and it's lovely. I mean, especially I know Perregrine, you've got an eye for that sort of thing. I'm sure that the others of you do too. But yeah, and actually the fact
Probably spot a wall.
yeah, I reckon I've got an eye for a wall, son. What was everyone doing? Yeah, we're not out. Give us 5 minutes. But the recent rain does sort of give the stones, the rose stone, sort of shine. It was particularly pretty looking.
Out my field glasses and see whether there are any swifts nesting in the wall there.
Oh, very good. Tell you what, you can't see any swifts, but there are house mines.
Oh, okay.
Which, basically the same, innit? Just different tales.
Yeah.
That's what the guy says as well.
Until they became the beautiful South.
Yeah.
That was the house mark.
Oh, yeah. Have a look at those house mines. Basically like swifts, isn't they? Just with their stouter tails.
Everybody in the world join the caravan of love. That's Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
You know that?
Oh, yeah.
You know that boy Slim?
Is that Fatboy Slim?
Yeah. Norman Cook was in the House Martins before he came Fatboy Slim.
That is good fucking knowledge.
Say.
First we've got fucking R. Kelly, now it's Fatboy Slim facts from Mr.
Gifts of the 90s.
Yeah,
On giving.
they keep on giving. Not to them, they don't. Actually, I don't think Fatboy's been accused of anything.
Not yet. No, Norman's all right.
He seems fine.
Is he married to Joe Wiley or someone?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, Joe Wiley.
Is it Joe Wiley?
I think it is. She used to fill in Zoe on XFM and
Maybe it's Zoe.
It was a Zoe Ball, maybe. Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Well, he owned a, but I know what you mean, because as soon as you said Wiley, I was like, yeah. No.
He owns a clubhouse down in Brighton.
Zoe Ball.
Zoe Ball.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I went there for a 40th birthday party. 80s themed.
Sorry, Doctor, what are you talking about?
I went as Miami Vice. Oh, sorry, I'm just putting my galoshes on. It's awfully wet out there, Lady Marjorie. Here, let me help you with that, the end of your cheese, ham and onion sandwich.
I was trying to get this millennium egg down my throat, which is absolutely impossible.
You've got this hamper.
Take it all in one.
Yeah.
Is it a millennium egg or a century egg? I can never remember.
I think it's
After about
this one.
For about 5 weeks, they all look the same anyway.
Yeah, this one's an Aeon egg, and it's an ostrich as well.
No talk of centuries from you with that cricket bat. Come on.
Yeah. Quite right. So, are you heading up to the Minster?
To the library, I suppose.
Well, I like this plan to send a pet by the penny post ahead, and say we can drop in and sort the particulars, but perhaps it would be best if we just ask for them to be sent immediately. Unless you think your presence will make things swifter.
My presence.
Aye.
Oh, I doubt it. Well, it depends. Were we thinking we were going to go to the just sort of your public library, or?
Well, I thought one of you might have had a contact at one of the libraries, I think was said, but I don't. It may have been a jest. But you could just go to
I imagine the Minster probably has its own library, but it's probably very theological.
Yes.
Yeah.
They might be able to help us with, 18th century influence on Christian tradition.
They might. Or the university library. Maybe it might be. But
They didn't have a university back then, except for St. John's, but they only do sort of applied drama courses. No, it was a theological college.
Well, so they'd know about Saxon burial traditions. So I think between those two, we've got everything covered.
I don't think we wanted to stop off here and do a tour, did we? It was just, I was hoping we'd make one quick stop at the library, and
Well, we've got to go to Betty's.
Betty's, yes.
We've got to go to Betty's.
Well, it's the Edwardian age, and it's still connected, therefore, to the Victorian age. So I say that we can do this all within an hour and 20 minutes.
I agree.
We'll get this cab here. That'll be 10 minutes into town. Lay a few coins on the table. Order the books. Get the next cab back out. A flask of coffee, some punch, some warm punch, and we don't want any more sandwiches. A wee breakfast of bacon, haggis, eggs, sausages, some black pudding, white pudding.
Of course.
Are you sure you don't want to go right up onto the top of the roof of the Minster and do a soft hidden roll? I think I might.
Well, now,
What's the
now
worst
you
that
mention it, there's almost certainly peregrine falcons nesting up there.
Because you can see for miles.
His namesake must be there.
Yeah. Well.
all right, very well.
Excellent. Well, in that case, there's carriages aplenty. So you take a carriage up to the nearest library.
Yeah.
A hansom cab. And there used to be a very good pub in York called the Hansom Cab.
Well, surely if you talk to your contact, we'll be done, because they can do everything else for us, right?
I know nobody at the library. I believe an old associate of mine may possibly work at the Minster.
Listen, where do you want to go?
Library.
We've been here for 20 minutes.
The library, please.
The library, please.
Okay. And he pulls off.
And I'm hoping it's self-service.
Yeah, it's a self-checkout, don't worry. We sort of, luckily, he's a very quiet carriage driver. You make it there. in ample time and go in. And are you just inquiring whether those books are available?
Do they have... Yes, indeed. Yes.
Well, the man behind the desk sort of says, well, we've got various copies of Beowulf. We don't have the Saxon burial traditions, I'm afraid, or what was the other one?
It was witchcraft and its influences on 18th century Christian tradition.
I think you'd want a more esoteric bookshop for that, to be honest. I mean, you might have more luck in Whitby, to be honest. I don't know if you're heading down that way, but really, no, it's not the sort of thing we'd have here. The Saxon burial traditions, we do have a copy, but again, it's not been returned.
Oh, you had a copy, but it's not been returned.
Yes.
May I inquire who took that out?
Well, are you fellows of the
of God's House, Cambridge?
Oh, I see. Pleasure to meet you. It's not the sort of thing, I have to admit, that we usually would give out. Who had taken out particular books?
Of course, I understand.
Tip the man, Perregrine.
You got it in literally before I was going to say that. Okay, at this point, I think I am going to have to make a credit rating roll to see whether I can...
Bribe the man, Perregrine.
To see whether I can tip him. Oh, there's no point. My credit rating is 0. Why do I even think about it?
I touch him very gently on the elbow. And you can't have a credit rating of 0. I don't know how many more times I can say this.
What's wrong with my sheet?
Something's wrong. And I say, oh, don't worry, God's House will pick this up. And I lay down this fucking old money. I fucking hate fucking old money. I lay down...
a farthing halfpenny.
3 shillings.
Oh,
very good.
Hello.
Kashish.
A badger's ducat.
I lay down my badger's ducat, and I'll roll my credit rating. But I'm gonna say, but I will need a receipt for this.
Oh, of course.
Bribe.
Yes. Well, as fellows of, what did you say? God's House.
Aye, God's House. And by the vacant expression, that's clearly because I failed my credit rating roll. I mean, I have the money, but obviously, I'm not impressing him.
Right? Does he believe that? He sort of says, fellows of God's House, really, and
aye, it's a Cambridge college.
How did Jesus treat those moneylenders in the temple? I wonder.
I'm going to try and charm this bastard.
Yeah,
like that. All right, you bastard.
All right, you bastard.
Would you like me to try my credit rating?
In which case, I think I do say, as Perregrine clearly is taking over, I say, oh, well, I meant no offence. And my long, slender hand takes the shillings back.
Yeah.
Unless if he hasn't taken them.
No, he hasn't. I think he was expecting a bit more, maybe. Yeah, clearly.
Pay no heed to my Hibernian friend there.
You do that? You do the Jedi mind trick?
Yes. No, I do. I know, but I just sort of open my coat a little to let my dog collar show, and I say,
"These are the books you're looking for."
We are on something of a pilgrimage here from a small parish in Hampshire, but it's long been my wish to visit York Minster, and I have a dear friend there who has taken a particular interest in the folklore of Yorkshire and the history, especially of the Vikings, and I would truly love to be able to bring him a book, something that might spike his interest, really. But it would be very useful if I could know whether it was someone else, so I don't, give him something he's already read.
I see.
So his name is
the Archbishop of York. Perhaps you've heard of him.
His name is Reverend Theodore Pugh. Was it him who took out the book?
Are you doing a sort of social role here?
A charm I was going to go for.
It's hard to tell with us, isn't it?
Sorry, that sounded like more of a diss than I intended. Are you doing a sort of social? Are you doing it?
I mean, I can't tell.
Peregrine's trying to charm anyone. Could I roll for boredom?
An antisocial.
Shut up. I'll give it to you. Shut up.
Please, just leave.
I've rolled something. Let's look at my dice. Oh, it looks It looks bad. It's a 78.
Ah, okay. So he sort of says,
Do I push it? We're in a library.
well, I mean, what are you pushing it on?
I could push it with my credit rating roll if you like.
Lady Marjorie.
Finally, the lady intervenes.
Kaboom!
Yes.
Big guns.
Sick of this, I pushed through the two gentlemen and I slammed my stick down on the desk and went, "Young man, my name is Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts. Perhaps you've heard of me, or at very least my husband, Major General Potts, who gave his life to keep parts of the Near East in the British sphere, the British market." Now, if you're not familiar with the name, I suggest you look it up.
Oh.
But I'll have you know my family owned half of this town for 300 years since the Normans came, and then we gave it up so people like you could live here and run libraries and such.
Run libraries.
Oh, that's very good. That's 38 on a 70.
Lovely.
That's some money.
Good. Okay. Right. What were you pushing with your credit rating then, right?
Yes.
So he looks quite sort of taken aback. You're not quite sure if he thinks this is a bit or not, but I'm assuming you're giving him money at the same time, right?
No, I'm using the force of my class.
Oh, I see.
I'm
So it's just
saying-
the sheer weight of class inferiority you're trying to...
Status.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
From him.
Same difference, really.
Ingrained British privilege.
Yeah. You see him sort of struggle against this mind, and his hand reaches up and he sort of, his other hand grasps the wrist, but it can't help but tug at his forelock. And he's almost pulling his head off. And he says, of course. Well, I'll have a look now, yes. And he goes back to the page and he says, yes. So it was taken out by a David Crane of Whitby.
Oh.
That name sounds familiar.
And yet, it doesn't.
Have we never met a crane? We've met a crane, haven't we? Have we met a crane?
We met some crows.
I don't think we have met a crane, but would you mind turning the music down?
Yes, turn the music down. This is a library, for God's sake.
I took our headphones off and I think I unplugged it.
As he turns away to turn the music down, I brain him with my cudgel. Good, because he's obviously showing 21st century ideology in a proto 20th century 1901, right?
Yes.
Context. And I think this man shows anarchistic tendencies far beyond human comprehension. It's better that he's dead.
We're monsters.
All of this fighting himself for tugging his forelock. It is the age where a man should tug his forelock. He's an anachronism, probably Yithian. I kill him on the spot. No, I don't. No.
Okay. I was going to hold it to you if you went on much longer, but I think
hell.
that was actually a crane. I actually loved it.
David Crane.
So yes, David Crane. And he looks at you sort of half raise your cudgel and then put it down. And it's sort of, David Crane from Whitby.
Whitby. The name sounds familiar to me. Do you know Mr. Crane?
I don't. I think I remember. Let me look at the date. It wasn't long ago. 2 weeks. Yes, I do remember him coming in to request this, actually.
2 weeks ago.
Do you remember anything about his appearance?
And do you...
Yes, in the sense that, well, he was quite, I would want to say it, heavy-set man, young. He didn't look the sort to be researching history.
Bloodshot eyes?
Oh, I can't say as I noticed the eyes.
Dressed as an owl?
Just as an owl?
I don't say.
No stag do's are allowed, but it was more that, well,
York's changed since I've been there.
he didn't seem the sort to be researching, Anglo-Saxon burial traditions or anything of the like.
Understood. That's most useful.
I don't suppose that you know, did he take out any other books?
No, he wouldn't have done. It was me he took it from.
I see. Well, you've been very helpful. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Please don't get me fired.
I lean forward. I lean forward and I say,
Got better things to do.
never let the buggers get you down.
Well, quite right.
And I tip my hat at him. I do leave one of those 3 shillings.
And you do see that this time he sort of scrapes it up quite quickly. He was just trying his luck. He's clearly not on a very high wager. But he goes, well, thank you. Anything else, just give me a wave.
If David Crane comes back,
Yes.
you'd do us a great service if you didn't mention us.
Oh, no. He's not the sort I'd mention anything to unless he asked me to. If you know what I mean.
We think he might have killed someone.
You're joking.
No.
She is. She's joking. She's joking. She has a very strange sense of humour.
I can call the police, the local constabulary.
No. We mustn't involve the police. They're in on it. He masqueraded as a policeman, we think.
Oh,
one of them did.
So if he comes in again, what should I do?
Run.
Although, if it's the gentleman we think it is, he won't be coming in here again.
No, he's dead. I bashed his head in with a cricket bat.
Okay. At this point, I think he just looks fucking terrified. He doesn't know what's going on. Probably thinks you're a bit insane. He sort of goes quite pale and says, I see. Well, I wouldn't do anything that would offend any of you, especially you, milady.
I think suddenly I realise what I've done, and I turn to Dr. Carraig-Muire and go, well, doctor, I'd like to go back to the hospital now.
I think that's probably for the best. Thank you, Mr. Baskin.
Thank you very much.
Robin.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Baskin.
and thank you for your time.
Thank you, he says, and you see his cheeks flush again slightly, and he sort of looks between the two of you, and you see he's I think he's fallen for the act. He's like, oh, thank fuck, that explains a lot. Right.
Yeah.
Come now, Lady Marjorie. And I tip my hat and I head out.
And I just give him a little wink and say, very modern type of therapy.
I love it.
Where we take people to libraries.
And let them reenact. Use them. Fantasies.
Allow them to talk about their fantasies about murdering people.
So, I mean, are you going straight back to the train station? Or, I mean, you did have another plan while you were here. The thing you wanted to do was to see if you could request 3 books be sent on to you in Whitby.
Oh.
Yeah, and it sounds like they don't have them here to be sent on, so...
Unless we try the Minster for this Christian traditional one, I'd say let's head back to the train station. Maybe check in at the bookshop in Whitby.
Well, he did seem very confident that there would be an esoteric bookshop in Whitby that would be of use to us.
He did. I am curious about whether they do have peregrine falcons nesting in the Minster, but perhaps that's something to look forward to on our return journey, which presumably will be made peacefully in happy conclusion of our business in Whitby.
One can only hope.
Yes.
Yes, the other two look at Perregrine with the look that Samwise Gamgee gave. No, it was given by Frodo when he said he'd been counting the Lembas bread for the return journey. And
I give him the look of a woman who threw herself out of a window to kill a woman last time they went on a trip up north.
That's true.
Wow, I mean, what a look that is.
What a look. So, you hop back in a cab? Oh my God, if that's the look. Sanity rolls all around. She almost explodes with various emotions. But I think, unless you want to stop off anywhere for lunch, of course you've got your hamper from Jackie, which is filled with disgraceful attempts at Chinese cooking. Melanie makes and all sorts. But otherwise...
It's going to be so hard to unpick this when you come to edit it. You'll be like, no, I've got to cut this.
Good fucking luck.
Cut this.
Yeah, good. I'll just cut out some of the...
Good luck.
Oh, now there's more.
Now you've got to make sure you cut this.
Yeah.
But you might miss this one.
Oh my God. I promise I won't get anyone except myself cancelled on this series.
I was serious about the breakfast. I think, a hearty breakfast is what we need, and they'll do a good one at York Station, I'm sure of it.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, as you get down there, there's a little sort of cafe type thing outside the front portico. And
portico.
It's one of those pumpkin places, isn't it?
Yes. Pumpkin cafe.
Pumpkin cafe.
Oh God, those fucking places. £7.50 for a can of Stella.
Worth every penny.
How much for a can of Stella? I'm not paying that, I'll tell you.
I'll take the boat pass. But yeah, no, you managed to secure a breakfast. And I'm assuming you're still taking Jackie's hamper with you. Maybe you could use it as a weapon at some point.
Well, we're definitely taking...
Or a disguise.
Definitely taking Jackie's disguise. Definitely taking Jackie's hamper with us. That's for the road, in case, you see, because we don't know.
We don't know. It is grim. It is grim up north, and we don't know when we might have food this good again. Jackie's bandaging skills left a lot to be desired, but her culinary mastery was really something to be observed.
I'd say so, Reverend. You look like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein's monster.
And to be fair, her garroting was very good.
That's true.
She does have skills.
I do hope the trains are running to Whitby, otherwise we might be at the mercy of the omnibus service.
God, no.
And they're not. The familiar face rides up on a carriage. No, they are. They are. So yeah, you're able to hop on the next train if you like. It's only 2-3 hours. You can have a little nap en route.
Perfect. After that lovely breakfast.
Square sausage, black, white and grey puddings, and all of the trimmings.
Oh, we're not that far north.
No, true. Just grey pudding. And
just grey pudding, yeah.
But you hop on a familiar steam train, because it was this way you arrived into Whitby just over a year ago. And you watch familiar fields pass by as well, the sort of those yellow-brown sort of fields with the old crumbling stone walls around, some of them almost vertical, the sheep running across them. The gorse, of course. Not that any of you have any personal issues with that.
Of course, the gorse.
Of course, the gorse.
The gorse, of course.
And the drizzle sort of comes and goes again during those 2 hours, and steam flies past the window, but you managed to make it somehow into Whitby Station.
Yes.
And you depart the train, and you are immediately killed.
Murdered.
No, but I might say, this is almost one, I might say we should leave it there, but we've got to fucking Whitby somehow. And Jesus Christ, what an adventure it was.
Wow. We didn't have to make a meal out of that.
Now all we've got to do is dig up an old hat and get back.
Dig up an old hat.
How hard can it be?
Find a book, dig up a hat, bugger off home.
See you later.
Have a look at the birds on the way.
Why are we digging this up again?
Huh?
Why are we digging this up again?
I didn't think you were, but I mean, you might.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
I think we want to leave it there, don't we? But we don't want people to be messing with it and killing people for it.
Oh, I see. Yes. And also, it'd be jolly good if we found out what happened to Robert.
Or even, if we're lucky, find Robert.
Robert may even still be alive. It's hard to...
I'm not writing it off.
Oh, don't give me false hope. To see that nice long cock again.
Don't cut that.
No, you must cut that.
I have to say, having listened to the recording of our previous adventure, I find it increasingly unlikely that you had a sexual relationship with that man.
Oh, I did, but it wasn't necessarily mutual.
What laughs I'll have in the edit.
You will. This episode is just going to be lots of cuts and us laughing. Cut, laugh, cut, laugh. They're going to be like, what the fuck are they laughing about?
They had a jolly train ride.
They had fun, didn't they? Gosh, they found that library amusing.
I laughed a lot in that one.
Yeah. I heard.
So I'm walking up and down this train carriage, trying to keep myself awake, and I can feel my eyes straining against the light. Or maybe straining against the darkness. And I'm conscious that the two people in my care, they've become precious to me in a way that I think I said to myself when I left the Sudan. I swore to myself that I would never let that be a problem for me again. Closeness to someone makes you vulnerable, makes you weak. But of course, as soon as you've made a stupid statement like that, you begin to realise there is no life without relationships with others. There's no care in it. There's no coming home and telling someone that you love them if you don't reach out and have someone in your life. And I'm not saying that I feel like that about these two. But I am saying that suddenly I realise going back into the mouth of danger, going back in and beginning to wonder whether we're being followed and harried and pursued and observed. I begin to wonder if this isn't what I was always meant to do. There's a part of me that feels fated in this journey. I look in on Perregrine. He's sleeping with a soft, subtle susurration of breath and half snoring. Almost no doubt like a bird that he'd be able to name, the call of which would be obscure and strange, part of a mating process perhaps. Nothing that I would understand. Well, I'd understand it, but I wouldn't know much about it. He almost looks peaceful. And I forget in that moment that we're not the same age. But he looks youthful, too. The way in which sleep slackens a man's face in just the right way to make you seem as if you're a few years younger yet. I leave him to peace and to dreams, or dreamlessness, perhaps, would be best to wish for. And I pass down that rickety, swaying carriageway, the wooden slats beneath me, and the polished wooden doors alongside me. I listen outside Lady Marjorie's room, or berth. I listen outside her berth, and I hear a deeper, clearer snore. Seems unfair to little Lady be overheard in that way, but well, that's another thing that war teaches you. Such affectations are just that. We're humans. We have compulsions and we have needs. We have functions. We have fears. I think about the madness of what we've seen in these last 12 hours, 24, 36, 48 hours. Is it really so little time, and has it all started again? I listen, I hear her heavy breathing, and I admire her for it, that she can sleep soundly. Age teaches you that. I know friends who are parents have said they've been taught the power of what it is to fall asleep anywhere. And I feel sleep coming. I feel the weight of it, the release of it, though it is not so pure and sweet as my mistress, as that dragon. I may be chasing those dragons in the earth, but there's a dragon chasing me here. above decks. Sometimes it feels like a ship pulling me ever forward. And I look at the Vegversir, and I wonder about true north. And I think to myself, well, York will be good enough for a true north to stop at. And from there northeast to Whitby. And I close my hand so that I can only see the penumbra of the ring blazing against my finger. A semicircle. A picture incomplete. And I wonder at myself. And I wonder at the secrets in the earth. And I think, maybe yet, Robert Thompson, maybe yet, one of those secrets will be mine. And I can take it back and make a name for myself. But not for fame's purpose, no. But to satisfy, to feed, to quash my hunger. And then I go to my berth and I lay my head down and I rest.